So the writing for The Unknown was a lot different from Hell Unleashed. Hell Unleashed happened a lot in lockdown, so it was a lot of ideas pretty much coming from all just via WhatsApp. Check out this riff and so forth. But with The Unknown, a lot of riffs were floating around in rehearsal rooms and in sound checks from when we did his UK tour. So everything kind of like came from different angles, and Adam had a lot more input on this one as well, didn't he? Because he didn't have a chance with Hell Unleashed as well. So
yeah, with Hell Unleashed, the album was written. We had the songs finished for a year, and when Adam joined the band, it was like the songs are written, the solos are written. Like there wasn't anything for him to do. So this time around, he had the opportunity to have the discussion. So sending riffs to everyone. Monolith, the main riff to Monolith, is Adam's. So I just said, does anyone got any riffs? Just so we get some more songs going. And within like 5 minutes, Adam said, oh, I've got this. Played it. It was like, okay, that's cool. So I put it into Pro Tools, jammed along with it, added one bit after it, sent it back to Adam and said, is this okay? And he went, cool. But one sound check I remember was it Joiners in Southampton?
Southampton, yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah.
We were jamming something. It's kind of not how it was when we were jamming it, but it gave birth to Reap What You Sow. So the intro to that, we started jamming, was like, that's a song. So I made sure to remember it. I think I recorded it on my phone.
Yeah.
On the stage, just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I think a lot of the songs on this album as well, there were definitely a different approach to it. We consciously said we wanted to do something a little bit heavier, and the aggression of Hell Unleashed was were premeditated as well. I mean, even before all stepped up to do vocals, we always were going to have that death metal element to that album. So All didn't really get to stretch his wings as a vocalist as much on Hell Unleashed as he did on The Unknown. And it was when we started gigging and rehearsing and playing together as a band after lockdown, when you were approaching the old songs, you know, the songs that Matt originally sung on, we clearly heard, you know, what your voice could do. And I think that was a huge part of the songwriting process for The Unknown, because it was like, right, All can do this, you know, he can sing, you know, really layered vocals, it sounds great, he's got a good tone to his voice, and that naturally helped The Unknown sound become what it is, just from your vocal ability and what you could do.
Yeah, the writing for this one as well, it kind of lent itself to the vocals, because a lot of the times there's not a lot going on in the verses or the vocal parts musically, so there's so much space where no one's even listening to the riff or the drums anymore. They're listening to the vocals. So it has to be big, it has to be memorable, it has to be melodic. So a lot of my focus was on the lyrics and the vocals. Obviously, I spent a lot of time writing the songs musically, but it was all about the vocals on this one. And I can't think of any more to say about writing. We wrote it.
I do recall a time where, and I don't know if you were doing it consciously or not, but you'd come into rehearsal and you'd just say, I've just been listening to Alice in Chains in your car.
Alice in Chains, yeah.
Yeah, and then there'd be another time you'd always mention Alice in Chains all the time, and I think, you know, subconsciously that's what you were kind of aiming for, maybe. I don't
Possibly,
know.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's on purpose, but I do love Alice in Chains. I love Lane Staley's singing, but in no way was I thinking like, yeah, you know. So I think some of it could have bled in really, because I really was listening to a lot of Alice in Chains, but I was never listening thinking, oh, maybe do that. Although, no, I lied. The bends, like the main riff to The Unknown, the da 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 da, it was originally da 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 da, and I think I was like, bends are cool, so let's bend to it instead.
I think that's with the album in general as well. I mean, I think for a lot of people, especially after we released the first single, The Unknown, people are like, oh, it's not a million miles an hour, it's not thrash, you know. And I think some people forget, you know, that, you know, as far back as you know, Five Serpents' Teeth, we were writing slower, groovier, more melodic songs, and certainly through into Skull with...
Well, even Enter the Grave, We're About to Die, Bathe in Blood, you know.
It's always been there. It's always been part of Evile sound. And I think sometimes when people hear something that is not a million miles an hour, they're automatically like wary of it. It's like, oh no, you know, like...
the bullet belt just falls off.
All the patches just drop off the jacket. Like, oh no, not metal anymore. I like this song. But no, it has happened, you know. But generally, you know, the feedback has been like, yeah, that's great. It's a good song, and that's all we think about when we're writing or, you know, putting anything together. It's just something we really want to enjoy to play. Something, you know, that we listen to as well as music fans, you know. So it's and like I say, it's always been there throughout Evile's catalogue. You know, there's always been melody, there's always been groove, and there's always been sort of like riffs. You know, and that's exactly what this album is. Groove and riffs. We've
never cared what anyone thinks about what we write, because as long as we enjoy it, we know some other people will enjoy it, so it's fine. We know if something's bad. So as long as the songs are good enough for us, they make it. We never think, oh, maybe people might not like this bit, or like there's no point thinking like that, because you'll never do anything, because you can't please everyone. So we can only please ourselves, and that's what we do. We just write what we like, and if you don't like it, just don't listen to it. If you like it, thank you.
I think that shows, like, when we're rehearsing these songs as well, it's that you kind of look at each other and it's like, yeah, you know, I like this, yeah, and you know, and when everybody in the room's got that feeling, it's like, it's not sod everybody else, not at all.
No, it's not.
But it's more a case of, we like this more than we're even thinking about, you know, we're just doing it, and I think that's the most important thing. As long as us four are enjoying what we're doing, then.
But also, if one person's like, I don't like that bit, we'll work on it until it works for all four of us. We've never had the situation where there's a bit in a song where one person's like, I hate that bit so much. Like, because you're going to play that for 20 years. You can't have someone mad for 20 years about it.
I think there were one I think when we were doing recording the album, you'd sent some sort of scratch vocals, and I think there were a couple of bits where we kind of went, oh, you know.
A couple.
But that's it. We were never afraid to say.
You
know, and we know all had worked really hard on his vocals, and the last thing we wanted to do was sort of like, go, hang on a minute. But it's just having that, you know, honesty and being able to say to each other, you know, that bit really, really works, but that bit, maybe not so much, you know.
But the outside perspective helps as well, because if you're working on something so intensely, you kind of can't hear it the same as other people. So it's great to have, like, just send it, like, what do you think of this so far? And if someone says one thing like, that bit's a bit, it's like, of course it is, because you're so inside the song that you can't hear it sometimes. So it's so good to have input from everyone.